Gauteng Education Department has told all schools in the province to immediately suspend the sale of food on and around their premises until further notice. The decision was prompted by rising incidents of alleged food poisoning involving pupils in the province. Just this week, 110 pupils from Tamaho primary school in Ekurhuleni were rushed to hospital after falling ill from suspected contaminated food. Now, schools and SGBs have been instructed to closely monitor vendors, tuck shops and other outlets that sell food. Meanwhile, there are calls to declare a state of emergency over ongoing cases of foodborne illnesses. The provinces that are already affected include Gauteng, Limpopo, KwaZulu-Natal and the Free State. But joining us now is Tebogo Mashilompane, who is spokesperson for the Save South Africa Civic movement. Tebogo, a good evening to you. The calls keep getting louder for a state of emergency to be declared. You're doing the same. Put your argument on the table for us.
Yeah, good evening, lady, and also the viewers. You know, on 29 July, we did write to the president to say, can you declare state of emergency on crime and other illegal activities? And we received the response to say, no, everything is under control because Operation Shanyela is busy with the issues and so forth. But our argument was that Operation Shanyela started last year, but we haven't seen anything big or progress that we can point and say, but at least we are happy with the progress. So, because we knew what was going to happen, that is why we had to write directly to the president after issuing a statement about the issues of crime in South Africa, because we were informed about the raffles that were coming to the country illegally, which actually it's general knowledge, but we are also privately informed about that people are bringing guns in the country and all those things. There's illicit goods that are coming to the country. And then he wanted to put our argument with the presidency to say, but these are the challenges. And then we also worried about the issue of intelligence, because we believe that intelligence should have picked up all these particular things, but they failed. So our argument is that we are calling for a state of emergency on crime and all other activities, like this issue of kids dying, which this one is the big one, because we cannot allow children to die in our hands. We cannot allow our children to die in our watch. We just see it and children are dying and then nothing is happening. Yeah. So that worries us a lot.
Let me ask you this though, Tebogo. What is a state of emergency effectively going to do? So it's all good and well to say, let's call it, but what should it look like? What will it do? The Department of Education in Gauteng having said that schools should, in the Gauteng province, stop selling food on their premises and also the sale of food around the school premises. So what would a state of emergency declaration then do?
Yeah, number one, before I go to that one, they said the vendors around must stop selling. Those people have been selling before even the Ethiopians were in this country. I mean, we're raised by those people. They were selling goods because we know them personally. Some of us are men today. Then we've been buying from those people. So what irritates us is the fact that they're saying vendors must close, but next to the vendors, there are tuck shops that are opened. So that's where we cannot see the relations between the two, because you need to close all of them. So, but when you talk about the state of emergency, you're basically saying all the resources will be directed to a problem, because at the moment we are trying to address this problem in a scattered manner. But now when you come together and say we need to invest resources, we need to redirect resources to this particular problem, because this is a serious a problem that, you know, when people die, I mean, I don't even have a way to describe that, when kids are dying in numbers and when kids are even hospitalized in numbers. So we say the state of emergency will make sure that the resources are directed to one place, which is fighting crime, fighting all illegal activities. So that's our belief and our understanding, because the borders will be closed, and then the guns that I've been talking about, they'll be closed. They won't be able to come to the country. The issues of Nyaope, the drugs, we'll be able to cover that. The issue of poisons, we'll be able to cover that. So we are saying call for the state of emergency so that everybody can be conscientized about what is happening in the country. Yes, people are aware, but let us conscientize people. Let us all focus on the very same problem. I'm saying this because 2 weeks back we were at a lady, and then kids, a child, 5 kids died, and then now it's business as usual. And then it's like we all forgot. So, but let us deal with this issue in a more organized manner, because these people who are doing this thing, they're also organized. So we cannot just deal with this issue like left and right. So let us put resources to one direction.
It's interesting because you say a state of emergency will deal with a lot of things, and it sounds like that's a big task that you're essentially putting on the table of authorities. But again, with the department making the call to stop the sale of food on school properties and outside of it, there is, of course, the argument that has been made by the governing body foundation, essentially, that even that declaration is simply not going to work because schools have no authority over vendors outside of their property. So do you get the sense that the department in Gauteng is really targeting where the problem comes from, and where should that start with?
No, the problem does not come from the vendors. As I said previously, we know these people, and they cannot kill our children because they've been there. So the problem is, we need to go to the problem, where the problem is. We are aware that illicit goods are coming in the country. Number one, as long as the borders are the way they are, we are not going to be able to deal with this issue, because some of these snacks that are sold in the shops, we don't even have them in our shops. You go to a normal shop, they don't sell these things. We don't even know how did they manufacture those products, what did they use in such particular product, and then they're just coming and they're entering the country. So that is why we say the Gauteng Department of Education is actually missing the point, because you are fighting the people who are not supposed to fight. Because fighting these mothers and grandmothers who've been there, I mean, that's unfair to them. And then after that, you say, no, we don't have control over them. So it doesn't make sense. Can't we deal with where the problem comes? The problem emanates from the issue of spaza shops. Why don't we focus on the spaza shops and then leave these people alone?
All right. Your point is made, Tebogo. Thank you so much for your time. We really do appreciate it.